Hey, Chris.
Hey, Drew.
Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast?
Why, yes, I have.
When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had a lot of questions. Like, how do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps people like to listen to? How do we make money podcasting? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now just by reading this ad.
Right now?
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now?
That means if you want to get a podcast going and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. Join me and Chris and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
What makes you afraid? Some of All Fear lives at the crossroads between our greatest phobias and the horror movies we love to experience. Part pop culture and part psychology. It's time to find out why we're all so scared of the dark.
It's good stuff. So,
Do
your thing. Do your thing, boo.
But then the best part of that was so the next day I had a slight hangover, and I had to give the baseball parent meeting to two different teams, my youngest ones and my oldest kids' baseball team. So I'm standing there in front of like 12 kids and their parents, with probably sweating whiskey out of my pores. Like a little league coach should, right? I mean,
just tell them that you have a bourbon cologne on.
That's Bad News Bear style right there.
Oh, it is.
I should have probably had a cigarette hanging out of my mouth.
No,
I like it.
Get after it. Get that dart.
Yeah. So welcome some of All Fear podcast listeners.
Hi, Feardos.
The Feardos. I hope you're tuning in. We have a really fun episode today. I'm super duper excited.
This movie makes my cheeks and my side ache, and just I love it, and I love this phobia. I find it so interesting and all of the folklore surrounding it. This is just a really fascinating thing to explore, the world of cats and fear as it relates to cats.
Yeah. So we have Ailurophobia, which is the fear of cats, which we're going to be diving into today. And I honestly, and we have Sleepwalkers coming up, Stephen King, Mick Garris movie that I think I watched it 5-6 times this week.
It will.
I rewatched it multiple times just because I had to, in order to get everything out of this movie. I had to keep milking it, man.
This movie is jam packed. I had no idea.
It was ridiculous.
Just how mind blown I would be.
Fucking bonkers. It is a bonkers movie.
Bonkers.
We're just going to give you a little heads up. We don't normally
bullshit, man.
We don't normally give a little recap, but this one is worth sticking around for. It's just really
exciting.
It is bonkers. This is a crazy ass movie. I don't know what they were thinking when they made this thing. It was out of control.
I love this week, research, movie, everything all around. It was
so much
really
fun.
Interesting. Yeah, great week.
Yeah. So welcome to Some of All Fear podcast. This is episode 9.
9? Are we almost
9.
at double digits?
Yeah, we will have our 10th episode next time around. So yeah, episode 9,
really
and
special.
it is on the fear of cats. So we got a whole episode about pussy.
Ooh.
I was waiting for that one.
Oh, get in there. Get after it.
Yeah.
Tell us all about it, honey.
My name's Drew, and we haven't done this in a while, but just for any new listeners, I have a background in history and religion, and I really like to watch heads explode. So I really enjoy movies and horror movies. So I'm the resident horror movie expert, and this is my beautiful wife, and she is definitely the brains behind their operation, and her name is Chris. And she has we had a little discussion this week because I didn't know exactly what your degree was in, but Mikey from the Horror Virgin was asking what your degree was specifically.
Right. That was a really interesting discussion.
Yeah, we had a little thread going on about, I think I offered Todd free therapy again.
Well, it's difficult to know what to ask because each state often has its own acronyms for what I do. But I'm a counselor.
Brain Ninja.
Yeah, also Brain Ninja.
Brain Ninja.
Yeah.
That's what we decided.
Unofficial.
Yeah. But you're a licensed professional counselor.
Yes.
Correct? So she
licensed
has the
professional clinical counselor.
She has all the fancy degrees.
Licensed clinical professional counselor. See, I got it wrong because I'm applying it to states right now, and they're both different things. And so my brain is warped.
So she's the smart one, and she talks about the phobias and digs into the brain stuff and the psychology behind all this crazy stuff, and then we talk about horror movies that bring these phobias into play.
I just like really weird stuff too, and going into the minds of what people who are experiencing this fear, anxiety, what's going on with them, but not just them, us as we experience fear and that fear, anxiety too. So it's more of a spectrum perspective rather than a severity perspective on these phobias.
The cool thing is we've been growing, and we've been seeing a lot of really fun new people following and people mentioning on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. So if you are out there, go to our Twitter page and like it. It's at Some of All Fear Pod. Go to our Instagram page at Some of All Fear Pod, and go to our Facebook page, which is Some of All Fear Podcast. And please share the podcast. If you listen to it on Apple or iTunes, share it around. We would really appreciate it. It would be awesome. We would love to see you share it with your friends. If you know somebody that might be interested in the podcast, that would be really cool. And also, please review and rate us on your podcast platforms. It does really help. And so we would be super stoked if you would do that. And thanks for listening. That's awesome.
Do we have any other shout outs this week?
Nothing real specific. Oh, Metal Chris gave me an awesome score from the Burbs from Waxwork Records.
It's beautiful. It's on our mantle.
Awesome. I posted it up on Twitter today.
It's reached mantle status.
It's really cool. Yeah, it's up on the mantle right now because I haven't had a chance to put it on the record player yet because it's covered in Funko Pops and books at the moment. But yeah, thank you. Thanks, Chris. That was awesome. That was super, super cool of you. And it is rad. It's got the inside cover when you open it up. I just knocked my microphone. When you open the inside cover up, it's got Tom Hanks roasting on an open barbecue.
It's really interesting.
Surrounded by all the black case. I did. Yeah, I posted a bunch
I need
of
to look at it.
And the record, because those Waxwork records are super badass. So what a cool gift. That was really cool of him.
Thanks, Metal Chris.
Yeah, he's our boy.
Also, big thanks to Creature, who said that she was listening to Creature Feature, one of my longtime teammates in roller derby.
Well, with a name like Creature Feature, she better be listening.
Oh my gosh. They're selling a Creature sweatshirt at one of the skate shops down in Carson, and I've thought about getting it for her so much.
Well, now you gave it away. Now it won't be a surprise. Now you got to get it for her because you mentioned it on air.
Oh man,
it's a done deal. Oh, our friends Michelle and Dave just bought a house.
Oh my god,
we just got off the phone with them, and or you just got done texting with her a few minutes ago. They just
congratulations.
Their offer was accepted on a really kick-ass house with a pool in the backyard that we're going to go hang out at
parties.
This summer. We're going to go have some pool parties.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Congratulations,
Michelle. It is
and Dave.
Glorious house too, like just immaculate. So congratulations, y'all. That's amazing. Another quick update. Angelica, our friend with the fear of statues, she wrote us back a little bit more information. She
just to get an update, that was our like one of the first people that ever reached out to us via email and on Instagram that we didn't know. We didn't,
and kind of shared her story with us,
her phobia and her story.
And her permission to share
just
autonophobia.
Automatonophobia.
So, yeah.
Right? Automatonophobia. There we go.
Right. And
the fear of statues.
One of the interesting features that we've been just chatting about is that it doesn't transfer to mannequins. It's
for her.
For her. To statues.
The phobia does.
Yeah.
But her in particular, it's just statues.
Right. So there's this kind of little carve out. And for her, it feels like they're more human-like, more life-sized. And so they don't feel as imposing which I find really interesting.
It is interesting.
And so she has a trip coming up. She's actually going to New York City, and they're going to go to the Statue of Liberty.
I think we mentioned that. We mentioned she was going to go to the Statue of Liberty.
It's coming up, I believe, this week. So if you're on the Facebook or the Instagram, give some love to Angelica.
Sounded like an old person. If you're on the Facebook or the Instagram,
give some love and some praise and some encouragement for Angelica, who's really going into a place that's very scary for her, but she's got a lot of coping skills and a lot of great support systems around her, and she'll do great. So post some shout outs.
And friends that laugh at her, which, that's...
I know. She says her boyfriend and her friends don't understand, but we understand. And the Feardos understand, Angelica.
And we also
know
all about making fun of phobias too. So, we know both sides. We get it. Sometimes you got to laugh at it, even if it is a source of terror.
Well, and that's kind of how we take our power back a little bit from the things that scare us the most, is being able to laugh at them and make them relatable.
Absolutely.
Kind of bring them down to your level. So, all the power to you, Angelica. We're rooting for you. I promise I'll write you back. It's just been crazy lately. So hang tight there.
Yeah. A lot of us, I think, I don't know. I'd be curled up in a ball in a pit of despair if it wasn't for laughter and comedy, right?
And your jaded ways.
Yes. So let's get into my I don't despise this game anymore, considering that now I'm a winner.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a winner, not a loser anymore.
I can't believe that happened still. I'm a little shell shocked.
I actually got one right. So, let's bring this shit on. I'm gonna start busting out this what the fear stuff.
I became a little bit more crafty after this because I'm on to you, Shattuck.
Yeah. So
I'm on to you.
Are you ready then?
I'm ready.
All right. Now it's time for everyone's favorite phobia-based trivia game.
What the fear? You say it now.
What the fear?
There you go. Okay, you have to say it like that.
All right, I'm feeling it this week.
Are you feeling it?
I'm feeling it. I got it last week. I got one right.
You found your sweet spot.
How proud of you? How proud of me were you?
I was really proud, and then also a little intimidated, and then also really turned on.
Oh yeah?
Kind of a little.
Oh yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah, tell me more, Tits McGee.
Shut up. Shut up and get ready to dance, puppet.
Go back to your home on Whore Island. Bring it on.
You bring it on, you whore. Okay, are you ready?
I am absolutely ready. I am excited. I'm pumped up. I am not
I can see
in any way
excited.
fearful of what the fear.
Do you have a fear boner?
No fear boner.
No fear boner?
No.
Not yet?
No. Whiskey dick. No fear boner.
Oh, damn it. Mama ain't getting on tonight.
Hear that glass kinkling? Kinkling? Clinking?
Kinkling? Is it kinkling?
Kinkling? Clinking.
If it was kinkling, you would have a boner. Okay, anyways.
New word. Kinkling.
Your first word is, or fear is, amacophobia. Amacophobia.
It's fear of Mac Daddies.
AMAKO phobia.
Say it again.
AMAKO phobia.
Amacophobia.
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 If you're playing along at home.
It's like Mako shark. Amacophobia?
I don't know. Make your guess now. You could also
amacophobia.
Listen to Drew here.
Amacophobia. Yeah, I'm giving you guys time to guess because I know it already, of course.
Yeah.
I've got it down.
I see it in your eyes.
I'm just going to nail
Those of you
one.
at home, come on now. Really? Bring it.
Amacophobia. Let's see. How about the man, I'm not getting much from that root there.
No. Oh, do you want your hint? You forgot you get a hint.
That's right. We have hints now. Damn it. I almost forgot.
I thought you were going to submit your answer, but
Nope. I need my hint.
Okay. Your hint is folks with this phobia are not likely to enjoy living in the Midwest.
Ooh.
There you go.
All right.
Boom shakalaka.
The fear of...
Come on, players.
Ooh. Oh. Does this relate anyway into our episode today?
I can't give you any more hints. That's another hint.
Come
no.
on.
No.
Come on.
Nothing.
Come on.
Nothing. Zero. Zip. Zilch.
So I got two things in my head right now, but...
Nope.
Am I on the right track? Am I moving the right direction?
I'm not telling you.
I mean, are you going to stab me in the back with anything?
I can neither confirm nor deny that statement.
All right. I'm going to go with the fear of corn. Tornadoes. I meant tornadoes.
Oh my God. I liked your guess of corn better because of that quote that we will insert in here in a little bit.
No, that quote, that's not from the corn part.
Oh, it's not?
No, that was from the pencil part.
Oh,
there's no, the corn part should have been corn on the cob.
Corn on the cob.
But they did not do that.
Oh,
that would have been a really great chance
corn
for them to insert another just bonkers ass absurd line, but they did not.
But no,
that should be good on a t-shirt though.
You're wrong on like all accounts.
Wait, hold on. The fear of
I can hear the people at home and they are getting it more correct than you. All right. This is the fear of carriages.
Midwest? What the hell does Midwest have to do with carriages?
There is a lot of Amish.
No, that's back east. You're totally wrong. That's like Pennsylvania and like back that way. There's no Amish in the Midwest. I mean, there are some, but there's not that many.
There's some.
That's like Pennsylvania, and we have just as much Amish out here that they do out in the Midwest. Totally wrong. It
wasn't wrong.
Not a good hint. Bad hint.
Do you want to hear a good joke though?
Now that I just bashed your hint.
Yeah. Do you want to hear a good joke though?
If you had said Pennsylvania, like for the Pennsylvania Dutch or something like that, there are quite a few in like.
I'm not the history
Indiana
major
too.
I know someone who lived in Indiana and
in Wisconsin.
She lived near some Amish, and she told me a lot of stories.
Yeah, they're mixed around out there. I guess that would be okay, but it seems awfully limiting for a hint.
Okay. Well,
because there are other places besides the Midwest.
Well, thank you for that allowance.
Yeah, I'm annoyed. I'm a little annoyed with your hint right now. I got to be honest.
Although, did you want to hear that joke?
I guess.
Okay. Did you hear about the Amish flu?
No, I didn't hear about the Amish flu.
Yeah. First you get a little horse, and then you get a little buggy. Hey-o! I loved that joke.
You would. All right, let's go to the next one here.
Okay. The next one is Kakoraphobia. Kakoraphobia. KAKORRAHPHIO phobia.
Good Lord, that's a lot of words. You need to make flashcards.
Kakoraphobia. You can type it down. I mean, you have
Can I type it down in Google?
No, you cheating bastard.
Kakoraphobia. Let's see.
Okay, do you want your hint?
K-A-K. Yeah.
Okay.
I would like a hint.
So your hint is...
I'm still trying to answer them before because you have me so conditioned.
I know. I love watching it. Your hint is you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Ooh, the fear of taking risks.
No, that's incorrect.
Oh. Fear of basketball?
That's not even a basketball quote.
I don't know.
That's a Gretzky quote.
The shots you don't take? That's a Gretzky quote?
Ferda.
I don't think so.
Ferda.
I don't think so.
Ferda.
Snipe Sally, bro.
Wheel snipe Sally, bro. Maybe like everybody has
is it the fear of hockey?
No.
Oh. So what is the fear of?
This is the fear of failure that maybe everybody has a slight bit of in their 20s.
The fear of failure.
Fear of failure.
Well, I would say everybody has a slight bit of that their entire life.
Yeah.
Most people.
Yeah, we can all relate to that.
I would say so.
It's a popular hypnotic treatment regimen for the fear of an intense fear of failure.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So being hypnotized helps you to be more confident. Is that what you're telling me?
It can give you skills that help you overcome the anxiety associated with your fear. And with that come, better thinking skills and rationalizing skills and creativity instead of that anxiety response kind of overtaking.
What about hypnotizing people? Because that David Copperfield seems like a cocky asshole. That's all I'm saying.
I still think that he is
It's already over. So
The Masked Singer's already
it's
over. That's
been
right.
over for like
oh
a
my
week. Yeah,
gosh.
we just haven't watched the episode
I need
yet.
to Google the spoilers.
Yeah,
I still think it was David Copperfield underneath that.
I thought you said it was Neil Patrick Harris.
Or Neil Patrick Harris. I can't decide.
Yeah.
I'm so mixed up.
All right, so I'm 0 for 2. I'm still confident though.
Yes,
I do not have coracophobia.
Cacorophobia.
I do not have a fear of failure. I'm going into this next one with the utmost of
you
confidence.
fail with such grace and poise.
I'm trying to.
You really do.
Working on it.
You lean into it.
I'm going to try to not be so self-deprecating in this. What the fear.
I think that some of the most successful.
Lacey told me that she thought that I should be more upbeat about the episode, about the game show here. About our phobia-based trivia game.
So you're faking it.
Yeah.
We
saw Lacey and Wayne. This
oh my
too.
gosh, that was so much fun.
Yeah, Wayne's the guy who gave me the first microphone that we talked about last time.
The one you're currently using.
Yeah, and I'm glad that we have better audio. We got a lot of good compliments this week about the audio. So
a ton.
That's a good thing.
So thanks everyone.
Yeah. So what's the next one?
Okay, your last one is hypogeophobia. HYPEGIA phobia. And your hint is everyone you want to punch on Facebook who posts something annoying might struggle with this.
They might struggle with it?
Yeah.
So people who
in other words,
annoy you on Facebook.
In other words, trolls.
Was it it's not the fear of trolls?
No, but like trolls, internet trolls. I guess we could go beyond Facebook. Internet trolls.
So more than just annoying, like
right.
straight up trolls.
Trolls. That's a better way to put it.
Well, since most of those guys are like in their basements of their mom's house, I would suspect that's like the fear of women or of the outside world. Or of, holding down a real job.
Oh, you're so close. You're so warm.
Am I getting warm?
You're so warm with that.
The fear of...
Keep going.
The fear of...
Keep going. Oh, you're almost there. Oh, God.
Wait a minute. We're going to need to stop recording right now? I'm getting excited.
Pause.
No. I don't know. What is it? That's I feel like I'm getting close.
I was so excited.
The fear of the outside of the air or
no. It's the fear of accountability or responsibilities.
Ooh. I like what you did with that.
Right?
I like it. So they yeah.
Trolls.
So it's guys in their mom's basement.
Trolls. They say that because you can't punch them in the fucking face.
Yeah. I thought they lived under bridges.
They might do that too. Why would they have internet under bridges?
I don't know. I just assumed there was a whole network of them under bridges that had Wi-Fi.
Well, I mean, in Las Vegas, there's the underground tunnels, but those are actually really dangerous and probably don't get good reception.
They probably don't.
Yeah, like some parts of Vegas, you don't get like 1G.
You're a G.
Your mom's a G.
Oh, all right. I went 0 for 3 again, but that's okay. I'm going to come back next week.
I'm still proud of you.
I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to keep my energy level up for what the fear.
Because what you say
really try
writes your
hard
history.
Next time.
Use your narrative as a positive for the future.
I am.
There you go.
It's
good reframing.
This is just a chance to pick myself up again.
Good. See, exactly. People who fail are the most successful. So fail early and fail often.
We're gonna dive now into my favorite animal in the entire world.
Meow.
My favorite animal.
Meow.
I love them so much.
You love them so much that
I want to strangle them all or throw them off a bridge.
That you always threaten people to cook them and eat them.
They're delicious. Gato tacos.
Oh my gosh.
Tasty.
How many people have you made so angry about this?
Hate cats. All right. I know there's a lot of animal lovers out there, and I'm not an animal hater. All right. I've got a dog and I appreciate animals, but I don't like cats. I am not a fan. So with that being said, let's dive into our phobia for today. So Ailurophobia, right?
Ailurophobia.
Ailurophobia.
Can you spell it for me, please?
AILURO phobia.
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
Ailurophobia. I don't have ailurophobia. I just hate cats.
And that's an important distinction to make.
It is. I am not afraid.
You're not afraid of them because
they should be afraid of me.
I had 2 of them when we first living together.
Cats have druophobia.
They do. I love it. No, you're kind of like, the skinwalkers.
A little bit. Are you ready? Are you ready for the Sleepwalkers?
Sleepwalkers. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Skinwalker Ranch from.
I was listening to the last podcast on the left.
They're doing Skinwalker Ranch right now.
I'm sorry. Them
Which
too.
is some crazy ass shit too.
Yeah, listen to that if you haven't. Holy.
Do you want to know Do you want to know the really interesting etymology for this word?
I do.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Ready?
comes from the Greek word aluros, which means cat.
What?
Blown, boom. Tell me a little bit about this phobia. There's such a crazy history of cats in general. Do we want to start with talking about the phobia, or do we want to start about talking about some of the because cat history is fascinating.
So I think you don't do the phobia justice unless you set it up with the history that comes behind it and the mythology and the folklore and the role that cats play in human society, all the way dating back to Egyptian times.
Yeah.
So you have to talk about that history in order to understand the basis of the fear. So let's talk about that history.
Yeah, because cats have been annoying the hell out of humans since 12,000 BC.
Humans
correct?
Like you.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, since 12,000, that's what they think.
Yeah.
Which is way back. In fact, I heard they're even redating the Sphinx. They thought it was built, I can't remember what the date was, but they're pushing it back and some of it has to do with the dating of the cats that they found.
Right.
And some things about the erosion on the outside and all that stuff. But that's pushing the dates for when they think domesticated cats came into being earlier. But the first time they ever found what they think was a domesticated cat was a jawbone that they found on the island of Cyprus. And that dates to like 8,000 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
But then they found stuff that was, then they found evidence that goes back even earlier than that.
Yeah.
So domesticated cats have been around and that's domesticated. They've been around for a long time.
Right. They've been a part of human life a long time, just like domesticated dogs too, but they have a richer history in terms of being assigned a lot of mythological and powerful attributes. When you think of a cat, a lot of things come to mind, cute, cuddly, fluffy, like unpredictable, because when you'll be petting them and then the next time they'll just attack you.
Because they're assholes?
Some sort of magical...
because they're assholes. That's right. I mean, that's the reason.
Well, I think they're choosy.
They're assholes.
They have a low tolerance.
Little furry assholes. Okay, continue. I'm really going to piss off Janelle in this one.
I know.
She's got like 5 cats.
I know. Janelle knows when to
That's
not
Metal
listen
Chris's.
to you,
That's
though.
Metal Chris's lady, so... they listen frequently. So she's really going to hate this one because she loves them cats.
Yeah. But I mean, they're sneaky and cunning and beautiful and graceful and silent as hell. And all the folklore that's attached with them has so much mystery and magic with it. Like, I was looking up some stuff on, in England, there was a belief that you could not own a cat with a child, like a newborn, because the cat would suck the soul out of the newborn baby's body.
Wow.
Like,
that sounds about right.
Fucking insane.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think they were right. I think they were definitely onto something. Did you know the Pilgrims couldn't even bring cats? So when the Pilgrims came over, if you were found with a cat, I don't know if it was just a cat or a black cat, you could be executed.
Why?
Because they associated it with witches. So that's where a lot of
witchcraft.
That witchcraft stuff
everybody
comes from.
knows that witchcraft, is a huge spot in cat folklore.
Yeah, specifically black cats, that whole black cat mythology and stuff, for sure.
Right. And that, they speculate has a lot to do with, the darkness, mystery, shape-shifting folklores,
the witches would actually turn into cats.
Yeah.
That was one of the
absolutely
common things, which we've seen in movies before.
We've seen in movies, and we've seen in across cultures, like in the Viking folklore, the goddess Freya, who was the one that taught Odin everything that he knew.
Great Odin's beard.
Great Odin's raven.
So was there a beard one too?
I think there was a beard one too. I think there's a couple of them. But she was kind of like the head of love and sorcery and death in the god world. And she had a carriage that was drawn by specifically 2 house cats because of how much power they had and how much influence they had. And in Iceland, something called the Jólakaturin, or the Yule cat.
I have a feeling that might have been pronounced improperly.
I know someone can correct me, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry for butchering it.
My Icelandic is not so good.
It's not so good.
It's not so good.
It's not so good. But the Yule cat prowls the countryside at Christmas time, specifically on Christmas Eve, to prey on those who are not wearing fine clothes. Well,
it's because they're pretentious little bitches.
Exactly. They had a specific
Yeah. You're not wearing nice clothes
or vitriol.
Nice I'm gonna suck your soul out. What are they doing?
Right.
Is that what they're doing?
Yep.
They're sucking the soul out.
They kill you
because you're not wearing nice clothes.
Yeah.
That sounds like something a cat would do.
That's super snotty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It would probably push you off of a bridge or something, because it always cats
That's
always
why
like
we
to
need
push
to,
stuff
we need
off.
to get to them before they get to us.
Wait, hold on a second though. Don't you have a little history with cats?
History with what? Well, I'm allergic.
Well,
is that what you mean?
Aside from being
other
allergic,
than the fact that they make my face explode and itchy and my neck get all hived out, but beyond that.
No, let's talk about your dad's relationship growing up with cats.
Well, I don't know if we want to. I mean, he might get the animal rights activists after him.
He's old. He can handle it.
Yeah, it is going back to the 40s, but I think they used to round up stray cats and throw them off the Mississippi Bridge.
Yeah.
And he didn't turn into a serial killer that we know of. Yet.
That's a big amount of property. I bet there are bodies everywhere.
But it wasn't just him. It was like the entire neighborhood. It was like all the kids would get together and just go,
what's wrong with
it'd be really fun to throw a cat off the bridge in St. Paul, Minnesota.
This is Depression era fun, people. This is how rough things were. You got to find a way to entertain yourself,
This
is how tough things were. And so that lineage has probably been passed down in your DNA.
Did you say Depression era?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
1940.
That was the 40s. The Depression was in the 20s.
I know, but he grew up in that era that was
it was post-Depression. The 40s were things were
where
hopping.
His parents were raising children of the Depression.
Well, it was World War II area.
Exactly.
So they were definitely there was definitely a lot of rationing and
booyah,
all kinds of stuff. So, but it was post-Depression.
Not a history major, am I? But you get what I'm saying.
When I say something psychologically wrong, you correct me.
I do. Okay. Another thing too is that a lot of famous figures are afraid of cats.
Well, let's go into the phobia a little bit. Why don't we talk about the phobia first before we talked a little. There's a little bit of history and background there, but there is a specific phobia of cats, like a real phobia where people are genuinely like our other phobias. They definitely have it definitely goes beyond me, who just, would like to see them all gone, and somebody who just doesn't really like them. There are people who genuinely fear them. Right.
And genuinely, when they do fear them, they fear them obviously on a scale, like most fears are experienced, and the phobic fears are the most severe. And with those most severe cases, they just try true avoidance of the images of cats, true avoidance of really anything related to cats, which if you live in the right spot is not a difficult thing to do.
I don't know, really. I mean, there is 90 million cats in the US alone.
Yeah, that's true.
90 million. 34% of households in America have a cat.
Well, you don't necessarily have to go in somewhere that has a cat, though. I'm thinking like just out in general population.
That's like a third almost.
That's a lot of cats.
Actually, it's more than a third.
Yeah, that's a lot of cats. Most people need to spay and neuter too.
Yeah. Listen to our Price is Right host.
I remember that from my childhood sick at
Bob
home
Barker.
from school days.
Bob Barker tells us that we need to spay and neuter our cats and then drop them off a bridge. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. I don't remember. I was home, I was homesick from school, so I might have forgotten a little bit.
You were a little bit hazy with fever.
Yeah, between Let's Make a Deal and Price is Right, I may not have gotten the spay and neuter message quite accurate, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Yeah, you're working on it. But with regards to case studies or folks that express an experience of this, they generally just try pure avoidance. If they absolutely cannot avoid a cat, what they try to do is ignore it, which you think like generally that would be the response that would make something not want to pay attention to you. Don't look at it, don't put your body language towards it, etc. But with cats, folks who like cats tend to make a lot of eye contact with cats and gesturing motions. And if you've ever met a cat, they're just like, meh.
Yeah.
When you do that.
Because they don't give a shit. They don't care.
Right.
Because they're terrible little creatures.
Right. But when you hate it.
Am I properly announcing my dislike of
you've
these
iterated
animals?
it a lot. Yeah. I think I can tell that you might not like
Am I getting
cats.
my point across properly?
You love me though. You let me bring my cats into our relationship.
For like
and then your
like
face
6 months.
Your face like exploded with allergies and then
she loved me enough to let them go.
Well, they're with my brother and being so well taken care of.
They are. And I am very allergic, which doesn't help.
Really bad.
Doesn't help at all.
But did you know that the fear of cats is a popular phobia in Iran from one study? That was interesting.
Any particular reason? Was there any reason why that particular place?
It might be based on different cultural variables, but they didn't specifically study any other cultures in this study. It was mostly a study of what people fear in Iran.
And that was a really high one.
And that was one of the top 10 fears in Iran.
Huh.
Also, too, folks who fear cats generally fear that they will attack them or hurt them in some way, or they fear that they hold some mystical power, like I've said, and the cat can somehow see something in them that others can't, or can magically have a power over them, which is why when people try to avoid cats, it doesn't make sense that cats end up going towards those people like you. But what happens is when people give off that kind of closed off pheromone vibe, cats see that as non-threatening. Whereas people they're looking at them in the eyes and like motioning and gesturing towards them, if they're not into it, they see it as more of an aggressive thing, more of a confrontation.
Interesting.
So if you hate them and you act like you hate them, they'll actually gravitate more towards you.
Well, I've always joked about that because they always find you and that's true of dogs too. It seems like dogs always kind of go straight to you. If you're not a big dog person, they jump on you first.
They do. So there's something in our pheromones and our body language.
Wasn't there something in cat poop that you were talking about?
Oh my gosh.
That sucks in people? That was a really interesting fact.
So there's a protozoa, Toxoplasma gondii, that's...
Wait. Say that again.
Protozoa Toxoplasmic gondii.
What is that?
It's basically like a protozoa that is in cat feces, and studies that they've done with rats, they've extracted this protozoa and then injected it into mice brains and rat brains, and then found that the rats were significantly less fearful of cats after having been injected with this protozoa than without it, which basically means that cats potentially produce something that makes you less, or makes them less fear inducing to you,
to their prey,
their prey.
So they're out there. So if there's mice or whatever that are feeding on their poop,
their feces,
then they're basically
They're setting up their next meal.
They're becoming little like zombies.
They're taking control of their minds.
They're getting control of these people's minds.
And this
Did you say humans that humans have some of this in their brain too?
Yeah.
That have cats.
This protozoa has been found in like 30 to 50% of cat owners, and they generally don't experience any like adverse symptoms.
Except for being like, I love that cat. Look at that cat. Oh, he's so cute. Look at him play with that.
Side effects include old cat lady syndrome. No, there's none of that.
Yeah. Why do you think that these old cat ladies into being old cat ladies? It's because they're around cat poop all the time, and these cats have made them into mush-brained little cat zombies.
But what's really interesting is that folks who are pregnant are not advised to really manage the litter box of cats because of this toxoplasmosis within their fecal matter. It can affect the brains of their young ones.
Does this not tell you anything? I mean, come on, guys. I'm just saying, cat zombies, mush brain cat zombies. That's what you're all turning into.
Do you want to know what else cats do that's really interesting? So cats, how they'll try and like rub up on you and rub their head and their back and their butt and like all that stuff. And we're like, oh my God, it's so cute. They love me. What they're actually doing is rubbing their scent all over you and marking you as theirs. And then when they leave you, you'll notice that they will generally bathe themselves very thoroughly.
To wipe you off of them?
They're actually wiping you off of them so that
Why does that not surprise me?
So that you will not transfer onto the next thing and not get their scent out as territory with.
I see the fascination with these animals, but everything you're telling me just goes right in line with how I feel, cat attitudes are. So this all fits. This all fits. It fits scientifically and experientially.
And I found some interesting case studies and information on celebrities or famous folks who experience a fear of cats too. So in one case study in 1902, there was a case of a woman who swore she could sense the presence of cats without ever seeing or hearing or having any indication that they were nearby. She just could physically feel them. It actually prompted a study that had controls for things like asthma and sound and things like that. Never really produced like significant evidence, but some people could generally kind of feel when cats were in their presence. Almost like you could feel when you can feel somebody staring at you.
And you said there were some celebrities that you found that had this?
Yes. There's some big celebrities, and I wanted to ask you what you thought.
They had a fear of cats, or just want to throw them across the room?
Various.
I mean, I would never do that.
Various degrees.
In public?
They range from you to Hitler. So various degrees.
Wait, Hitler had a fear of cats?
He did. He had a big fear of cats, and so did Mussolini.
So what are you saying? I feel like you're judging me here. I feel like you're telling me. So these guys actually had a fear of cats, though, like genuine fear.
They grossly despised cats and never had them around. Would kill them on sight.
Well, if they can peer into your soul, I guess I can see it. I mean, maybe that's why I don't like cats. Maybe I just don't like the way they look at me.
Shakespeare hated cats.
Interesting.
So did Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar.
I'm seeing a real theme here.
Right? Genghis Khan.
Really?
Yeah. And LaToya Jackson. You like that last one, don't you?
Hitler, Mussolini, Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, and LaToya Jackson.
Hey, she's right up
all
there.
of the great leaders.
She's right up there.
All of the great leaders.
All the great leaders. But I mean,
I wouldn't call Hitler a great leader, but I suppose great in a certain term.
But I mean, why do
notorious, famous?
What's your theory on why some of these really powerful, particularly men, are so afraid of cats? And let me preface it by telling you a little story about two things. One is about an old Jewish lore from the book of Isaiah talking about.
Well, you're talking about the book of Isaiah.
Not the book of Isaiah.
Not the book of Isaiah in the Old Testament, but
right.
in Jewish mythology.
Right.
There was a non-canonical book that was not in the
non-canonical book. They speak of a woman named Lilith who was Adam's wife.
Sure. Lilith liked to be on top.
Yeah, Lilith.
She was dominant.
She was a
That's why she got
boss.
kicked out of the garden before Eve came along.
Right?
I think that was how it went.
And she actually had this almost fearsome evil personality called Elbrosha. And she transformed into a demon cat who eats babies.
Did she star in our movie Sleepwalkers?
Maybe.
I think she may have been a sleepwalker.
I don't know.
Sounds about right.
And then the other one I wanted to let you know about was Bastet, who was half woman and half feline. And she was in, I believe, I want to say Egyptian folklore as well. And was a very big and powerful goddess. So do you think there's a connection between a fear or an extreme hatred of cats and problem with women?
With female empowerment.
With women.
I could see that. Yeah. I mean, I think there's always been a natural connection between cats and femininity. And dogs and masculinity. Right. I mean, that's always been
even if you have a female dog, people automatically assume it's a male because it's a dog. Like a car is a female.
And if you look at our cartoons, dogs were always boys and cats were often, females.
Right.
There's just something. I think there's just something that kind of naturally, shows up in that. So
Witches,
I think there's
females.
There's definitely. I would definitely think there's something to that for sure, especially with these, with these leaders, these male leaders and stuff that you're talking about. I could certainly see that.
I want to shout out to Ginger Juggernaut. She sent me an article. And we were chatting back and forth about
She's
this
a
upcoming
cat lover too, isn't she?
She has a great little cat who is so adorable. It's so cute. And she sent me a great article, and we were talking a little bit about that as a possibility.
I can see that for sure.
Powerful men having difficulty with women or having a difficult history with women in their lives, and associated cats with femininity or powerful womanhood, or just like this mysterious feminine power that could see through all their fucked up bullshit right to the core of them.
So you didn't mention any females that had that phobia though, did you write any down?
LaToya.
LaToya
is
Jackson.
A female.
That's right. That's right.
Well,
I get her and Michael. I'm sorry, I get her and Michael confused because they look so much alike.
LaToya has a fear of cats that's associated with an adverse event. She saw a relative get really injured by a house cat,
fucked up by a cat
at a very young age, and that's a very common thing to get a fear of cats.
And that's true of dogs, or like we were talking about electorophobia with chickens and stuff.
Most
if you have an
fears.
experience with an animal, like I did have a fear of dogs growing up. Where I did not like them around me that much. Like if they ran up and jumped on me or anything like that, it freaked me out. I got a little panicky because I got attacked by a Doberman. My grandpa had a Doberman and it jumped on me when I was little and like bit my ear and so
it was
I had
probably
this, like,
being
thing.
a puppy or something.
Now,
but
what's that?
It was probably just being a puppy
Playful.
or something.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But as a kid, that can be really terrifying and it leaves a scar. There's another example in a case study of a woman who at 4 years old witnessed her father drowning a kitten and hated cats ever since then. But I feel like that's more of a defensive reaction associated with pain. Like they cause a painful memory to come up that was really unpleasant watching something like that.
Sense.
It's almost like a traumatic response.
Absolutely.
That's a fear related to. So just really, really fascinating to find out all the people and the things that could be behind this and the folklore that goes back thousands of years. And
well, yeah, I mean, I think the whole witch familiar thing is really interesting. I think as far as horror stuff goes too, we see these cats pop up all the time.
Even in pop culture, right? Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah, absolutely. So my dad, before we get because we'll transition into movies
Hocus
here.
Pocus.
We'll talk about some of those here real quick before we get into our feature presentation, because I'm not going to do an honorable mention where we really break it down. We'll just talk about a few examples because we have to give all of our energy,
full attention
to Sleepwalkers.
Sleepwalkers requires your full attention.
It is so worthwhile.
Be here, be now.
But my dad, we always laughed at my dad about being a big cat hater because he was kind of like me. So I guess I came by that naturally. He always was like, fucking cats. Blah, blah, blah.
You learned by example.
But I watched him when he didn't think anybody was looking. I watched him feed a stray cat one time.
What?
Yep, it happened. Yep.
Scandal.
Yeah. Yeah, we laughed.
Shattuck family, do you hear that? Scandal.
We always talked about how much he hated cats, And then he had like an Egg McMuffin or something that he had like a little piece of it. He was tearing off bread and tossing it to the little stray cat. So, even the most cold-hearted among us,
hypocrite,
animal. I'm not an animal hater. I'm just a cat hater. But we can be softened every now and then. I did have a cat that I loved.
You did. Mr. Kitty.
Mr. Kitty.
Mr. Kitty.
Mr. Kitty was my buddy Billy's cat. And that cat was like a dog.
That cat was a badass.
And it was an outdoor cat.
It would come back like missing a chunk of flesh.
Yeah, it would
like
go on adventures. Like it was like Milo and Otis style, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it would go on adventures and, it would probably go, I was imagining that it was facing
a lot
coyotes.
of things and would like bring it back for Billy.
Yeah. And it'd be gone for like weeks. And then all of a sudden it would just show back up again. And you'd be like, well, Mr. Kitty's back.
No.
We thought he was dead.
He was a hard ass.
That cat was badass.
He was kind of like Clovis.
Kept to himself, just did his own thing. He didn't give a shit.
No. Mr. Kitty gave no shits.
Mr. Kitty gave no shits. And I liked Mr. Kitty. That's the kind of cat that if I had a cat, that would be the kind of cat I want. I
think
a cat
Mr.
that just
Kitty's protozoa got to you.
Maybe. Could be. He turned me into a mushy Mr. Kitty lover. Just
you're
Mr. Kitty.
Infected.
Love. Maybe. Just by Mr. Kitty. And Mr. Kitty's dead now, I'm sure. Mr. Kitty at some point just didn't come back. But was still a badass cat. But like you were saying before, like cats and these kind of like horror movie type things, as symbols, as familiars to witches, as all that kind of stuff, really common. So let's go ahead and dig into our. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add about cats to kind of fit into this phobia stuff before we dig into the movies?
Just one thing, just a little quote from journalist Robert Heinlein. He said, "How you behave towards cats here below determines your status in heaven."
Psh, I do not believe that one bit.
Good luck, Jack.
Don't believe that one bit. No.
I just thought that was an interesting quote.
Wrong. Wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. Well, alrighty then. I don't agree with that. I don't believe my eternal damnation or salvation hinders upon my treatment of cats.
I don't either, and I didn't see his theological proof of that.
I don't think there's any theological proof there.
I just thought it was a fun quote.
Dig into that. I don't think so. But let's dig into some movies. Let's talk about some cat movies. We'll toss around a few in this week's honorable mentions. So we're talking horror movie cats.
Yeah, these are pussies that even you could fall in love with.
Oh, damn. How long did it take to come up with that?
Like the last 5 seconds.
Liar. You've been working on that all week.
Maybe.
We got pussies galore.
Pussies galore. Shelling out pussy here.
We are going to have a very short honorable mention this week because we have to dig into our feature presentation very quickly.
Damn good.
Because there was just literally so much. I think I have like 4 pages of notes just on our movie alone.
Yeah. Get ready to take this one, folks.
I did want to mention some famous pussies.
We want to give you all the pussy you can handle.
All the pussy you can handle.
Yeah.
We had your favorite movie has a feature that you mentioned earlier.
Hocus Pocus. Binks.
Yeah. Hocus Pocus has a famous cat.
Binks. He helps save the day.
That's right.
And then he gets to go
then he gets to become a real boy.
He's a real boy.
He becomes a real boy.
Really
I mean, this poor kid's been stuck in a cat body for like a couple hundred years.
Dude's been eating mice and
creating
mice zombies for years.
Poor kid stuck in a stupid cat's body.
Yeah. What's our next one?
Alien had a cat on the ship.
Yeah.
That was a pretty popular
Didn't it
horror
transmit
cat. Not really
the
center of the
monster?
movie. Huh?
Didn't it transmit the monster? The alien?
I don't remember. I honestly cannot remember.
I'm pretty sure.
I didn't go through the notes.
I'm pretty sure everybody thought that they were like home free. And then there was this cat that the monster kind of went into.
No.
And that was how it set up Alien 2.
I don't think so.
Was that Predator?
No, I don't think so.
I don't remember.
I could be wrong.
Dang it.
It's been a while. I haven't seen Alien in a bit. I think I might have watched it last year. But Pet Sematary we talked about before.
Yeah.
A couple episodes ago when we were talking about cemeteries.
That's a lot of pussy there too.
There was a bunch of cat stuff in there, obviously. They made themselves into a zombie cat. That was kind of a little punk ass.
More of a punk ass than a normal cat.
But the one that I would have picked if I had to have picked an honorable mention for this episode, I would have picked Reanimator.
Yeah.
Because Reanimator is just a freaking another great bonkers movie, the Stuart Gordon movie that is just fantastic. If you haven't watched Reanimator, you need to, as a horror fan, it is absolutely at the top of the list of movies that you need to go see.
What role does a cat play in that one?
And honestly, I think it's free on a lot of apps right now too. I noticed. And Bride of Reanimator, and there's a lot of great sequels. But the cat, you watched Reanimator with me.
Yeah, but tell the listeners what role the cat plays.
So the cat was, when he was doing his experiments, he was trying to reanimate dead bodies, and so he kills like his girlfriend's cat or his roommate's girlfriend's cat, I think. And
smooth move.
Yeah, and then the cat comes back to life, but it is
not the same.
It is not the same.
We've seen Pet Sematary.
Up. It's better than Pet Sematary though. The cat in Reanimator is like, and then they like reanimate it when it's like all bashed in and like all like
gnarly.
Up. Oh yeah, dude, it's awesome. So that would be my honorable mention for this one is
I like
Reanimator,
that,
because the cat scenes in that are super fun,
graphic.
Definitely not the center of the movie, but there's a good section of reanimated really cat stuff, which is really cool. And there's obviously Stephen King's always had kind of a thing for cats. I don't know what his deal is, but Cat's Eye, which had Drew Barrymore in it, which I don't think I've ever seen.
Whoa!
But it's like it's like 1985. It's another mid 80s Stephen King one that I need to track down one of these days.
Do you think it's as
watch.
Brilliant as
I don't think
Sleepwalkers?
There's no fucking possible way in hell that it is as good as our feature presentation today. And so I'm not even going to mess around. All right. We're just going right into it. We are just going to go right into our feature presentation.
And now our feature presentation.
Charles Brady is new in town.
You can actually talk to him? Yeah, he's nice. Real nice.
The girls all like him. The teachers all respect him.
Your teachers in Ohio must have been sorry to lose such a creative young man.
The parents all trust him.
He's utterly charming.
But nobody really knows him. Like his mother.
You cannot be in love with this girl, Charles. You don't know me, Tanya.
But I want to.
Behind their smile is a secret.
Hi.
Come in, Tanya. I have something for you.
I don't know who you are, but I know you're not who you say you are.
Behind the secret is a hunger.
Does it have to be her?
And behind it all is the imagination of Stephen King.
Somebody help me, please.
He killed one of my men.
He was scared of a cat.
Stephen King's Sleepwalkers.
Oh Lordy, I got the vapors for this one, baby.
This one makes me giggle.
I love this movie. Our feature presentation for today is Sleepwalkers, 1992. Mick Garris directed, Stephen King original screenplay.
Incepted.
Original screenplay written. This movie is just, I've said bonkers like 6 times already. We haven't gotten into the episode.
It's bananas.
It is off the freaking wall, man.
Bananas.
It is nutty.
It is
nutty.
a masterpiece.
Here comes Johnny with Pecker in his hand.
No. That's my favorite. I want that to be your alarm.
There's going to be, there are clips that are going to end up being my ringtone, my text message alert. I mean, you name it. You can pull it out of this episode. This movie. It is a freaking crazy movie. I had never seen it before. So this was another one that, I wouldn't say it's quite like Pet Sematary where people are going to be like, you haven't seen Sleepwalkers? Because there's a good reason why a lot of people probably haven't seen Sleepwalkers, because it's freaking bonkers.
Well, yeah, it was, Stephen King's first attempt at a screen.
I don't even know if it was his first attempt or not, to be honest. I mean, I could be wrong.
At a screenplay only and not.
As far as I know, it was, but I don't know that that's true or not.
Well,
I actually didn't. I just know that it was an original screenplay. It wasn't based on one of his books. It might have been his first one. If it was, then it wouldn't. It would not surprise me if it was.
It is,
because the dialogue is not great.
Brilliant.
It's not great, but also incredible.
So good.
Yeah, this movie is fan-freaking-tastic.
From the moment it starts, you're just like, what is this Tom fuckery?
Yes. Yeah. And it's cats from beginning to end too. So there is literally, this isn't a stretch to make this our feature presentation.
No, this is about cats.
And make this entire episode
and about cats' relationships with cats and cat people.
And cat people and Thundercats. And
cat people's relationships.
Like some sort of naked Thundercat people.
Like naked mole rat thunder people.
Yeah, naked Thundercats. That's what I'm calling them from now on. That's my reference for them. It's like if somebody took Thundercats
and made
stripped them down and then burned them. It melted them a little bit.
Just slightly melted.
Just slightly melted.
Maybe put them in the oven.
Slightly
at like
melted
400.
Thundercats. Yeah, that's kind of what they are. So this thing, guys, it's a hoot. Is nutty. It's completely nutty, and we're gonna dive right into breaking this thing down, because I think I've got notes on like every scene in the entire movie. So let's
do this.
We may be here a long time. I don't know how this is going to go down yet, but. And there's so many Easter eggs and stuff in the middle of in this movie
it's so
too.
Fun. And there's so many cameos,
little Easter eggs,
it's
backgrounds
brilliant.
on all the actors. I mean, all the actors, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I know that guy or I know that person.
So
like,
listen to us and then go and watch that. And it makes it even better.
So we start out this movie with Sheriff Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Who looks oddly as old as he looks today.
Yeah, he looks about the same.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, now he's got that big beard. He's been in all the new, the new Star Wars movies. He's starting to look his age a little bit.
Know.
He's almost 70. I just realized.
You could tell that his acting has gotten better though.
Yeah. So so Mark Hamill is in the very first scene. This thing comes right out of the box and just kicks you right in the balls. Like we got Bodega Bay, California.
Don't act like you don't like it.
A nice reference too, because Bodega Bay is where they did The Birds and a bunch of other. So The Birds is interesting because it's another animal movie. So you've got like a little little homage to horror past by making the first scene in Bodega Bay, California, which is where these sheriffs stumble upon this house where cat lovers are not going to be very happy about the first scene, because Mark Hamill walks up to the house, and
says an amazing line.
Yeah, and he walks up to this house. He sees all these cats hanging, and
Sheriff, what do you think happened?
I don't know, but somebody sure doesn't like cats.
So yeah, the people that live here didn't like cats. There's cats hanging everywhere. They are hanging from the trees.
Something happened
all over the place.
It was like Meowschwitz.
It's like Meowschwitz in there. So we start off with just a bang, right? So we find out that whoever lived at this place, and they mention the names in the first scene. So it's Mary and Charles Brady. They were the last residents, and they left. Folks. It's empty now, but they took off. So they're not there anymore. And apparently they were not too fond of cats.
Mm-mm.
So then we meet the next scene where we meet this Charles and Mary Brady, and we, by the looks of it, you'd think
blonde-haired, blue-eyed couple.
You would think they were probably a cute little couple.
Yeah, I mean, they
Adorable.
seemed very in love. They were like dancing in the kitchen.
Yeah, he immediately turns on. So the I call it the Richie song, but the Santo and Johnny song "Sleepwalk." Richie from La Bamba is playing, and they start dancing. They're slow dancing. It's very sensual. It's very nice. Until you realize they're mother and son.
Oh my gosh. It's incest. It's so incest. Ew, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to touch it.
Yeah, mom and son.
Forever unclean.
Mom and son are
forever unclean. La 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 la. Now I don't want to watch this movie.
They are super duper close to each other. to say the least.
Incest Thundercats. I don't like this anymore, mommy.
Incest Thundercats, which is I heard coming to Adult Swim.
Coming to Adult Swim soon. Yeah, we just pitched it. We think it's going down great.
So they're dancing to this Sleepwalk song, and then we see him pick her up and like head to the bedroom. So they're getting ready to go bang. They're gonna go. Mom and son are gonna go. They're gonna do some banging.
No.
Yep. So it starts off just about as creepy as you can get, right?
Why are mom and son banging?
Well, we'll fight.
We don't even know that they're Thundercats yet at this point.
We don't even know. Well, I don't even know that we ever really find out why they're banging. I think they're just because they're like. Anyways.
They're probably like ancient beings, and they're like, oh, everybody we've ever met has died except
we gotta
for
stay.
us. So now we're kind of
keep the line alive. But they were really in love.
They were not.
They weren't just like oh, we got to keep humanity going. No, they were into it.
Yeah. They were very into themselves.
They were into it.
Like, whoa, like. Y'all are gonna have to pay me to unpack that shit.
So then flash to we find out that throughout the movie that Charles needs to go out and find himself a girlfriend to bring home to Mama, which we don't really.
Why can't she hunt on her own?
I don't know. We haven't figured that out yet.
Fucking gold digger.
Yeah, it turns out Charles needs to bring home a virgin to his mom to feed off of her soul, which we don't really know yet. But that's how throughout the movie we kind of get this storyline where he's got to bring home a virgin soul back home to Mama. So he goes out and he meets this, and originally you think this is a nice little teen, other than the fact that we just watched him take his mom upstairs to go bang. But we kind of get the 80s movie vibe of like boy meets girl, and
we're not exactly in the setting that you would think for a Stephen King film.
Well, we're not in Maine.
No.
Yeah, we're in Indiana.
Yeah. Like it's super mountainous. It looks kind of like California still.
It is California.
But
I love those that are like, it's Indiana. And it's like, oh, look at all these Indiana mountains.
I'm really familiar with all of those Indiana ranges.
That sure looks like the canyon just outside of Los Angeles.
Weird.
So we meet this girl that he's supposedly falling for here at his new town, because they just moved to town, and her name's Tanya Robertson. And Tanya Robertson, by the way, is played by Machen Amick, who was born like a few miles from here.
Sparks, Nevada.
Yeah, Sparks, Nevada. Which I did not know. And she is also smoking hot, by the way. And if you would like to see more of Machen, check out Dream Lover, which came out like a year after this movie did. And you get to see a whole lot of her. And
you're so bad.
It's very impressive. Celebrity nudity is a pastime of mine.
She's very, very beautiful.
She is super hot. And she's now she's still very, very attractive. And she's in Riverdale.
Oh gosh, how is she gonna do with his past?
Yeah, so Luke, we just found out today, Luke Perry passed away. Very sad.
52.
Very sad. I just got into that show this year. But man, talk about like nostalgia.
Heart. Yeah.
Luke Perry and 90210. When I was in high school and stuff, I watched that show every time it came out.
Yeah, your age group must be really suffering.
Oh, thank you for calling me old. But no, that's really sad. Yeah, he had a stroke.
Too.
He had a stroke and
passed
away. So rest in peace.
I just couldn't help. I couldn't help that joke.
Very sad deal. But yeah, so she's in Riverdale as well. So she's still acting. She's still out and about doing stuff. And she's great. And then the son, Charles Brady, is Brian Krause, who was in Return to the Blue Lagoon with Mila Jovovich. The original Blue Lagoon had Brooke Shields, I think. But Return to the Blue Lagoon, for some reason, played on like Showtime or something over and over and over again when I was a kid. And it brought me into childhood. It had some great boob scenes.
By childhood, do you mean puberty?
Yeah. Brought me into puberty. Brought me into adulthood. Affected my childhood.
I was like, what? Brought you into childhood. This is weird. We need to talk more.
Dude, that movie was super hot. And I guarantee you there are other guys who grew up around the same time who caught some Return to Blue Lagoon. And so that's where I recognized him from.
Got that Blue Lagoon fever?
I know what this guy looks so familiar. And I looked him up and I was like, oh, that's the dude.
This guy looks so familiar. Why am I getting a boner?
But Mila Jovovich, she was smoking hot too. So we we have him meeting this
they
girl,
awkwardly
Tanya.
meet in the theater.
Yeah, she's dancing. It's a very cool scene.
She's working.
She's working
doing
as a
her
popcorn
thing.
girl
It's
at the theater.
Little poppy montage, and then she bumps into the popcorn after he says hi, and it's very 80s.
Yeah, it's very innocent, very very I said, very 80s teen movie-ish.
High school movie.
He's the new guy in town, does that whole routine. And so we're starting to get the sense, and then after he meets her and they kind of flirt, he goes back to mom, and we're starting to get the sense that mom and son don't really like cats, right? We get that kind of sense. We get that at the beginning scene, but then we find out at their house, they've got traps around the outside of their house. They're trying to keep those cats away.
Yeah, and there's a ring of cats just constantly around their house.
Well, it starts off small. There's only
waiting.
one cat. And then every scene, throughout the whole movie, it starts to build.
Gathering.
And they start getting more and more and more and more. And even to the point where and she's trying to get rid of them. Mom's not a fan of these cats. And
she's got bear traps.
She's got animal
out there.
control coming to, grab them and take them away. And she tells them she has a severe allergy. And,
when she kills them, she hangs up their bodies and creates Meowschwitz.
Meowschwitz. She doesn't do that at the new house, though. That's at the old one.
Not yet.
Yeah, she didn't do that at the new house.
She didn't get to.
She didn't get to. So
she got put in the fireplace.
We have we have mom starting to talk to Charlie about this situation with this new girl, and basically starting to get upset at him that he's not bringing her home yet. And she's like telling him hey, I need this. I need this to survive.
Why isn't the mom hunting for herself? We really need to talk about his
this
codependency
really bothers you,
issues.
doesn't it?
He has a lot of codependency issues. Like, honestly, she looks like a strong enough half adult, half amorphous cat creature thing. She obviously later displays some telekinetic powers. And is a wicked good gunshot. So she could hunt for her own very easily.
That's
I want to know.
I don't really understand why that it's all his responsibility.
Exactly.
Except they need. Here's the reason.
They need a virgin, but
they need a virgin.
Come on, people.
So he's going to attract a virgin.
There's also male virgins.
Yeah, but I don't know. They didn't explain that, so I don't know. Maybe it's maybe it has to be a female virgin.
Okay,
because
so
female virgin sacrifice kind of deal. If we go back to
mom
mythology,
was totally hot. She could have totally gotten any girl that she wanted to. So it's not even a viable excuse.
So then we move on, right? And we flash to high school.
Ooh.
Right? And we got Charles giving reading a poem.
It's very deep.
An English class.
It's basically about this story.
And then we realize that Otho is his teacher. Otho from Beetlejuice is his teacher, which is awesome. So I'm very excited that we get to see this iconic Beetlejuice character as his teacher, and he's such a great character actor too. Shaddix, I think, is his name, which is actually very close to my last name. Glenn Shaddix, I think, is his. I'm pretty sure that's his name. Glenn Shaddix was Otho in Beetlejuice, and so he's the teacher, and
the teachers are dragging people out of class by the ears.
Yeah, you like that.
Slapping them with the rulers.
Yeah, you slapped a kid with the ruler on his knuckles.
Okay, I have a lot of teacher friends who, A, don't get paid enough for what they do because they're fucking heroes, and 2, don't have enough leverage to be able to teach children what they're not learning at home in terms of what is acceptable and what is not.
Yeah.
Not that slapping with a ruler is the best way to go about it.
I don't know.
But you know what?
Not a bad idea.
I think there's more leverage that we could give teachers outside of that would just really help them do
you really like the
better.
idea of twisting their ears and dragging them down the hallway.
It does them no permanent damage.
No.
I mean,
I know I know a lot of high school kids that could use that.
But I also too have to.
Yeah, that sounded old.
I got spanked as a child too, so I know that kind of desensitized me to that kind of behavior. So there's got to be other ways, but man, teachers deserve better.
So after class, Charlie and Tanya are flirting, and he offers to take Tanya, give her a ride home. And so they go back to Tanya's house and they go up to her bedroom and her panty-ridden bedroom. Like, she was pulling panties off of every surface. I don't know what that was about. I don't know why she was just throwing panties randomly on all of her dressers. And
he would have liked it if he had seen them anyways. If she knew anything about adolescent psychology.
So then mom busts in and they talk about mom doing these grave etchings, and he says, "Oh, I do that too." And, bullshit, trying to get Tanya alone, apparently.
Bullshit. I just want your daughter's soul.
Yeah. So and then he heads out of Tanya's house and he's cruising down the road in this like sick ass blue Trans Am, which that's the Easter egg from It.
Yeah.
The new It. The remake, the recent one, part 1 of It, that came out has that same blue Trans Am.
There you go. I was thinking of that the other day because I had seen it. I'm glad you found that.
That was the Easter egg
that was
in
bugging
the new
me.
one from Sleepwalkers was they drive around that blue Trans Am, the
badass.
exact model, like everything, paint job, everything.
It's the car.
So he takes off down the road and for some reason, I guess Otho, his teacher was like stalking him or something because
I don't
somehow
understand why.
Randomly pulls him over on the side of the road, chases him down in his Volkswagen Beetle, like his Volkswagen Beetle is going to chase
gets
down
out
a
to
Trans
have
Am.
like a man-to-man talk with him, and then
It's because Otho apparently has been really looking into this guy's background.
Yeah.
Like, you get a new kid in your class, are you, as a teacher, are you really spending that much time analyzing where he's from and his records? But he really wanted to question all of his various details.
yeah, this kid can transform into a cat and steal souls, but he can't fucking fake an admission file.
Yeah, apparently they can't pick a real city in Ohio either.
Yeah,
Because they said he's
come
from
on.
He's like, they told the school they were from Paradise Falls, Ohio, and apparently there is no Paradise Falls. You couldn't pick a real fucking town. You guys are really bad at
Yeah,
this.
you guys suck at this.
That's a theme that I want to bring up throughout this whole thing is that mom and son, if they're
Really
trying to
suck at
hide this thing that they are, which is that they're these weird
They're supposed to be extinct. Maybe it's because
naked
they're fucking
Thundercats?
idiots.
These Thundercat vampire demons.
Adapt or die, bitches.
They are really bad at figuring out how to survive. Like they are the stupidest ancient creatures of
Adapt
all
or
time.
die.
So anyways, after this and after some chit chat, right? Again, blowing his cover pretty badly. He just gets pissed off at Otho and rips off his
freaking hand.
and he rips off his hand.
Your generation is so mercenary, Charles. Money this, money that. Well, money is not the only medium of exchange.
You're right, Mr. Falls. People really should learn to keep their hands to themselves. Here's yours.
So
That's definitely sepsis.
So then he's handless. He's handless and running, running away with this blood squirting out of his hand,
diving in a river,
and then takes off, dives in a river. And Chris is immediately was like, "Oh, that's
sepsis.
That's gonna get infected.
Oh, it's gonna get infected every time." Oh,
I'm like, it doesn't really matter if
so
it's gonna get
much blood.
infected because Charles comes in and
kind of feasts on him.
Yeah, he
little bit.
kills him. He's dead.
Dang it.
So Otho's gone.
Womp womp.
No more Otho. He's not going to seance his way out of this one. No Beetlejuice.
Oh.
So I guess because he got all pumped up from mutilating his teacher, he decided that it would be a really smart idea to go like 100.
Hell yeah, speeding.
Go like 110 miles an hour. Right in his Trans Am.
Zombie.
Because that's how you keep a low profile in a town you just moved to when you don't want to be found out, for whatever it is, this thing that you're hiding from.
Man, they suck at this.
Strange ancient demon vampire cat humans probably should not
lay low.
Be so crazy.
Reckless.
Just a thought. Because immediately we are introduced to my favorite character, Officer Andy.
Oh, my favorite
who
character.
takes off after Charlie goes cruising by him.
With who?
I'm sorry. Officer Andy and his cat Clovis.
Mr. Clovis.
Because apparently in this town, cops just have cats in their front seats.
Come on, boy, get the bad guy, get the bad guy, get the bad guy. Come on, Clovis. Here we go. Get that motherfucker! All right. Good boy, Clovis.
I don't know what you're talking about. Clovis is a dope ass cat.
So he's always singing to Clovis. He's always talking to Clovis. It's great.
I like it.
They had to get away to have the cats in like every scene of this movie, I think. So the cop takes off after Charles and he's chasing him, pulls up next to him, and we get to see like early CGI
morphing
in effect when the cat peeks out the window and Charlie sees the cat,
and we kind of see
the cop
it
pulls
through
side by
the
side.
cat's eyes.
They're chasing down the road, right? And the cat peeks out the window and Charlie sees it. And all of a sudden he goes through this like face morphing.
There's like a baby in there. And then
there was a baby in there.
There was a baby in there. And there's an infant. I don't know why. And then there's like sort of a cat and then more of a cat. And then it's kind of
then
like
there's a thunder cat.
Then there's like a naked
Then there's like
rat.
Beast from Beauty and the Beast, I think.
Beast
definitely
was
the Ron
there.
Perlman version, which he's in this movie too later on. He goes through like this full on fucking cat morph thing.
So seeing the cat kind of made him do this reaction. And then the officer sees it. And Clovis is there.
Yeah. So then Charlie's racing down in his Trans Am and he gets ahead of the cop and he pulls off on the side of the road and he stops. And then we learn that apparently, these mighty morphing power Thundercats are able to also make shit disappear.
Yeah, they can disappear, I guess.
They can make a whole car disappear.
They seem to kind of have like
Not only did he make a whole car disappear, but he made it change make and model and color.
Yeah.
They've got a bunch of powers that don't get explained.
No, they're just
super
like
well.
handy dandy powers that just magically came up at the right moment.
So then, our officer Andy pulls up and he's like, well, where the fuck did he go? Like all looking around, all like confused, like what happened? I don't understand what's going on. And the cat, but the cat can still sense him, right? So the cat's looking out the window and staring down Charlie, and Charlie is not a fan of this cat watching him.
I lost him. How in the hell did I do that? Stop looking at me. Stop looking at me. Stop looking at me, you fucking cat!
But the cat knows.
The cat knows.
Can see what you really are.
Fucking
Charlie.
cat.
Fucking cat.
Then the cop goes back and he goes back after this and he's like, I don't know what the fuck happened. And he tries to explain what he saw because he saw this guy mighty morphing, power Thundercat face go crazy and go into all these various different forms. And he's going back to the station and he's like, I don't know.
Trying to explain it.
It's like, it just was like, I don't know.
It's like he didn't have a face.
And he sure didn't like my cat.
What is it again with the cats and the dudes and the mythology?
I don't know, man. I do not know. So then Charlie goes back to mommy.
Man.
And we learn in this scene that Charlie's in a bit of an abusive situation with mommy because mommy will occasionally turn into a Thundercat, and get all abusive on him.
Yeah.
Which is not cool, mom. But then immediately after that, they go bang. And it's a full on bang scene where they're up there,
man.
They're making sweet
incestuous
Thundercat love with each other, and it shows them in the mirror. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't. I looked away like a normal human being.
So there's the very end of that scene. It shows them in the mirror, and they're those wrinkly ass, Thundercat looking motherfuckers.
Why couldn't they have just
literal motherfuckers?
I just don't understand why that was a necessary point in the plot line. Like, why couldn't it have been husband and wife? And maybe wife is like pregnant with their child and he can't.
Honey, this is Stephen King we're talking about. Have you ever read a Stephen King book?
Like, you have to pay me to unpack all of this. Like,
there's a
parent,
lot of baggage
child,
there. Yeah.
Teacher, child.
There's
bullshit
a
that goes
lot
on in
of
this movie. Like, there's so much.
Have you ever read the original It? Good Lord.
No.
Oh man, there is some stuff. There's some stuff in there. So we've got full on mom, son, cat monster sex. And they're kind of like vampires because when you look at them in the mirror, you can see their real selves.
Their true form, which is why cats can see them, too.
Yeah. And the whole, they have to, they don't feed on blood. They feed on souls. They suck energy out or something of the people, but
they need
kind of a vampire thing going on.
Nothing's really explained again.
Yeah. So then we flash to the next day, and then Charles and Tanya are going to go on a date, but we see Tanya's house, and we'd already kind of met her parents. But when they're sitting at the dining room table in that scene, I realize I'm sitting there and I'm going, these are Ferris Bueller's parents. And sure enough, both of them were the star were Ferris Bueller's parents and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Could were they just like, you know what? Those guys make fantastic, early 90s
Absolutely.
parents. Ferris Bueller was, I think it was 80s, but I kind of take that time from like 82 to like 92 or 93, kind of in the same boat. But so that was another little Easter egg. I was like, these are the exact same parents as Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which is hilarious. So, and then Tanya goes over to Charles's house. She brings a picnic basket, and they're going to go, and he meets Mama, and Mama's like, you can tell she's like, she wants to just end it all right there, which I'm not sure why they don't. If he's going to take her out to the freaking,
Right.
He's got her at his house. Like, why take her to a public place to go suck her energy out?
Maybe because he doesn't want the other people, doesn't want the parents, doesn't want to have to kill them too. That's more of the story.
No, this is at his house.
Oh, at his house.
She goes
That's
over
right.
to his house, and he meets Mama.
Right.
His
Mama.
And Mama's like looking like she just got a ribeye in front of her.
Yeah.
And why don't they end it there? Makes no sense to me.
I don't know. Maybe it's kind of a cuckold thing.
I don't think so. No, I think it's just, I think there was kind of this weird theme that went through that was like, you're not sure that he really wants to do it. Maybe he really is falling in love with this girl or likes her and stuff like that, but it never really gets fleshed out very well.
Again.
So it's daytime at the cemetery now, which is your favorite scene.
I laughed so hard.
And he's like, well, we should do some grave etching. So your mom, for your mom and blah, blah. And there's this like real teen sexual angst going on. It gets very like kind of traditional, right? They're kind of you can tell they're kind of falling for each other, and they go roll down a hill and they fall on top of each other, and there's some making out.
Roll in the hay.
Yeah. So, and then
till he starts to suck her soul out
he
and
goes
shapeshift.
He goes full frat boy douchebag, right? I mean,
what?
Like full frat boy douchebag.
No means no, Charles.
Yeah. Charles then just,
so then she bashes his head in with a freaking camera.
Yeah, and he's trying. Well, that's not. Well, he tries to suck out her life force first, right? He starts to suck it out, and she's not very happy with this. Although that he does explain to her that he needs her.
This is just how we live, Tanya. Tanya doesn't have to hurt. Don't you get it, Tanya? I need you. I need you to live.
So
I need you to live.
So that's your favorite. That's your favorite line.
I wrote it down in my notes to make sure that you recorded it.
Don't you see, Tanya?
I need you to live.
I need you to live. That whole scene is just fucking nuts. And then it just keeps getting this. And this movie just gets freaking crazy. Like it starts off crazy and just keeps going.
Well, that's not entirely true. It starts off crazy, and then there's like a weird, boring break, and then it's like crazy for 5 minutes, and then another boring break.
True.
Or more settled break, and then like weird as all get out.
It just keeps going, man.
It just keeps giving it to you.
So she gets away from him in the cemetery, right? She runs out of the cemetery, and she's got blood coming out of, she's got blood on her from bashing him in the head, and our favorite cop, old Officer Andy, is cruising down the road, and this clip is literally my favorite clip in the entire movie. Hands down. No doubt about it.
That's our new morning alarm.
Yeah, this is going to be my ringtone on my phone, though, I think. So yeah, Officer Andy's cruising down and he's just chatting it up with his old cat Clovis in the passenger seat.
Hey Clovis, what's up? You catching a nap? Hey, there comes Johnny with his pecker in his hand. He's a one-ball man and he's off to the rodeo.
Here comes Johnny with a pecker in his hand. Off to the rodeo.
Oh my gosh. It's just brilliant.
Just the best fucking thing ever.
Best ever.
Like, what the hell?
Why the hell?
Stephen King, did you write that into your script?
He
Mick
did.
Garris, did you insert it? I mean, what is going on here?
There? Mick Garris.
Officer Andy, did you improvise it? Because if you did, you're my favorite actor in the entire world.
Genius. Officer Andy.
Just fucking amazing. And he just happens to stumble upon the graveyard and see the blue car, which is another weird thing because they drove like a Mustang there, I believe, the red car.
They did, but it changed he walked away from it.
Was that what it was? He got too far away?
He walked away
and he wasn't able
to
keep it red anymore. So again, they're the dumbest freaking hiders ever. If they were going to go try to be, if they're trying to be inconspicuous, they really
And this
suck.
is like the lover's lane too.
Yeah.
That they're going to. So it's like a populated area.
So Officer Andy's talking to Tanya, and our boy, our freaking cat boy, walks up behind him, stabs him in the head with a pencil. Which, where the hell was that last week?
Man, that would have been so good.
I kept talking about I wanted a good pencil scene in
the
Ailurophobia
ear too.
Ailurophobia, the fear of sharp objects. I really wanted a pencil scene.
Yeah,
and this was a good one. This was a really good one. And what he said after he stabbed him in the head,
gold,
is the best thing ever.
Cop kebab!
Cop kebab!
Cop kebab!
Cop kebab. That might be my alert for like text messages.
Cop kebab!
Cop kebab! What the hell? It's so good.
Well, I mean, that's really honestly.
How can you not love this movie? Like, there's no possible way not to love this movie. It is so good.
It's an ineffective way of trying to kill someone because you're not really damaging anything in the brain that's super vital right there necessarily.
Right.
So
he still gets up and shoots him. But apparently bullets don't hurt these eternal creatures,
or they're really bad
mighty
shots.
morphing power Thundercats. That's what I'm calling them. I've got a few different names for them.
Mighty Morphin Power Incest
Mighty Morphing Incest Thundercats.
There's a lot of important facts about them that deserve to be in the name.
So then he gets there's always another cat around, right? So another stray cat ran, or was it?
It was Clovis.
It was probably Clovis. Huh? I didn't even notice. Attacks him and fucks him up.
Yeah, Clovis fucks his day up.
Yeah, Charlie is in bad shape.
# Mondays.
Yep, and he goes back to mom. He goes back to mom in really bad shape, and she is not happy with this situation. So she's bandaging him up, all that kind of stuff, and she comes out and he's all ripped
brutal.
up and shredded. So these cats really mess up.
They fuck them up.
The
scratch of the cat
understand.
somehow.
The scratch, yeah.
But
then we get another scene where it's just like cameo after cameo after cameo. We've got like every master of horror. Speaking of Mick Garris, who did Masters of Horror in the early 2000s with all of these directors, all of these crazy, amazing horror directors, all of a sudden show up in this forensic scene where they're on the crime scene and in the laboratory. There was a lab
and then
scene.
Stephen King basically walks from famous
one
director
to the other. Stephen King's the cemetery caretaker. And he just goes and he's like, talking to Joe Dante, and then he's talking to Clive Barker, and then he's talking to Toby Hooper, and then he's talking to John Landis and Joe Dante are like in this laboratory doing like this other scene. So we've got all these like,
and you know what
directors.
Stephen King's not doing? He's not taking the rap on this.
That's right.
I'm not taking the rap on this
one.
I'm not taking the rap on this one.
Yeah. We watched this.
We were
awesome
like, is he
YouTube
saying this
video
about the movie? Like the script?
I'm pretty sure
what's
he's
he saying?
distancing himself from this movie.
But I loved it. He just kept saying the same thing.
I'm not taking the rap on this one.
I'm not taking the rap on this one. I'm not taking the rap on this one.
So we got more mother and son creepiness back at the house.
Oh,
where she's trying to bandage up.
Get your popcorn now during the movie.
Yep. So she's trying to bandage him up, and he's all fucked up. And then the cops show up.
Oh man!
And she tries to do the disappearing trick with both of them so they can hide.
And she does.
From the cops, and she does. She manages to get them both all disappeared. So the cops come in and they break down the door, and then we're introduced to creepy Ron Perlman,
who is so bad.
Yeah, we got creepy Ron Perlman, who I think during this movie. When he did this movie, he was already starring in Beauty and the Beast, which was a series. It was like a 4 or 5 year series, 5 years of series on network TV. So when I was a kid, I remember watching it. And he was Beast, which is funny because
he
looks just like fucking like one of those
He
morph
does.
Power Ranger Thundercats.
He looks like it's
played
halfway
Beast. Like
morphed.
he's somewhere in between.
Yeah.
He was in one of the CGI.
Yeah,
one of the CGI.
that
parts.
was one of the CGI images.
So and he makes some really creepy statement about spanking Tanya.
Yeah, like
the
it's
high school girl.
super inappropriate.
So we go from mom and son creepy to
unprofessional.
like even creepier.
Yeah.
And then maybe the best scene in the whole movie for just its ridiculousness, if this whole thing hasn't been ridiculous enough for you.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Mary goes over to Tanya's house, right? She busts out of the house. The cops don't see her because she's invisible or whatever. And she goes over to Tanya's house and she fucks up her mom and dad.
Yeah, totally.
First of all,
Tanya's
she knocks on the
mom and
door,
dad.
fucks up Ferris Bueller's parents.
She's all strong and stuff all of a sudden. Again, why can't she do her own hunting?
And there's this dopey Barney Fife cop who's supposed to be there watching them or protecting them from, these guys.
Who is the worst shot ever.
Yeah. And he tries to shoot her and
he ends up shooting the vase twice.
well,
like if you watch the scene.
That's an editing mistake.
If you watch the scene, he shoots the vase and then he shoots the vase
Well, no, he
again
shoots the vase
a couple
and then he
seconds
shoots
later.
like a window.
Yeah.
And then he shoots and he's also the worst shot in the world. Like, I
Really
don't know how this guy,
bad.
he missed like 17 times.
He's awful.
He's trying to shoot her. But he did shoot the same vase twice. He shot the vase once and then there was like 3 or 4 more shots. And then we see an up close shot
Of the vase exploding. And it's
of the
like,
same
come on.
vase exploding.
Wow. Okay.
Mick, you got to get this stuff, bud. I know, I've heard your interviews on this movie.
I kind of love the Easter eggs.
This was not an Academy Award winning presentation. So,
It was an award-winning presentation in my heart.
but it is, yeah, truly fantastic in every way. But that's not even that's not the ridiculous part. The ridiculous part is when she chases the cop back into the kitchen, grabs a piece of corn, a corn on the cob, and stabs him in the back with it.
Oh, ma'am, now we got corn on the cop.
Corn on the cop.
Corn on the cop.
We totally stole that from Channel. What was that thing called?
That's some juicy justice, motherfucker.
I got to look that up for everybody so they know that we're not just pilfering.
Oh,
this.
no, we're not.
Channel Awesome Nostalgia Critic season 11 episode 39 on YouTube.
Amazing.
There's a 30-minute explanation of this movie, and we stole a lot of things from that because there were just so many good one-liners. So check
He
that.
really broke it down. Amazing.
He broke down the whole movie in like 30 minutes and just was freaking hilarious. Definitely nailed it.
Berta.
So yeah, other than cop kebab, yeah, the corn in the back
Cop kebab
was the best. Oh man, yeah. After she stabs him in the back with the corn on the cob, you got to just be like, "Thank you, good night, and good night, folks." Like it should just end right there.
Yeah.
There should not be. There can't be
The
anything.
end.
This movie cannot get any more fucking bananas.
Right
than that.
in the vertebrae, right by your neck, just stabs him right there.
And then we got pussy everywhere.
Oh, so many pussy.
Then the cats just start coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
and they
no, so now they're no longer waiting in the circle around the house. Now they've attacked.
Well, no, they're heading from down the streets.
Yeah.
They're coming from all over town. They're starting to come towards the house.
Everywhere.
We see the cats coming out from every alley and everything. So they're heading towards back towards Mama and Charlie's house or Charles's house. And when she tries she's dragging Tanya out of her house to try to take her back to Charlie because she needs to bring her back to Charlie, to make sure that I keep calling him Charlie, Charles, because she needs him. She needs her to help make him better.
Right.
Because
To
he's
heal
all
him.
fucked up. So she's dragging her out by her hair. And like Ron Perlman's like, you should stop doing that. Hey, stop, stop. Like not like no urgency.
Really
whatsoever.
not convincing.
And
at
walks
all.
right up to her and she just grabs his hand and like bites off 3 of his fingers.
Oh yeah, it's
spits
gnarly.
him out. Then grabs his gun and like blows up 2 cop cars with like 2 bullets.
They really don't represent the police force very well in this movie.
There is something about horror
They're
movies.
much more competent.
Horror movies really don't portray cops that
They are
well.
much more competent than that.
I would think so. Most of the time, the bumbling idiot motif in cop movies.
I know
is
there has
pretty-
to be some, statistically, it's probably a bell curve presentation, but
Maybe. Yeah. But they don't portray them very well at all.
no.
I promise we're almost at the end. I really don't want it to end.
No.
I
really-
want this to just keep I just want the good times to
You
keep
wanted to
on
keep
flowing.
watching.
But she ends up taking Tanya back to her house, and then the cops bust in, and right before Tanya, there's the whole Tanya dance scene too. I forgot about that.
Well, she brings Tanya back and then is like, all dramatically, basically like, look at my son, he's dead, and I think he just needs a little dancing.
You should dance with him.
And so then she obviously now, like, magically,
she's like, he's dead.
Yeah, magically she has the ability of telekinesis, and so starts playing the creepy pew pew.
Yeah, starts playing Santo and Johnny's Sleepwalk again,
and then animates his like limp body with her telekinesis and forces him, the almost lifeless Charles, to dance with her character,
and then he kind of comes back to life, and he's getting ready to suck the soul out of her again, and the cops bust in, and then I don't know if it was Clovis again. Maybe it was Clovis.
It was Clovis. Clovis came to the rescue because Clovis fucking punched out a window upstairs.
Clovis that punched out the window?
Dude, Clovis is a badass ninja. Yeah. He fucking punched out a window.
I'm pretty sure cats don't punch out windows.
No.
Like, I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen. And this cat just punched right through the window, no problem.
Is the Mr. Kitty of this movie.
Yeah. Well, here comes Johnny with a pecker in his hand. And so after the cat gets on mom like kicks the cat away, and somehow they get outside and they're tussling with the cops again, or the one cop, maybe only been one left, maybe there's two, I don't remember. But anyways, still trying. And Tanya is running away, and then mom gets attacked by like a whole horde of cats.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
She becomes the ultimate cat lady.
And apparently, cat scratches make
scratch fever.
Make mighty morphing power Thundercats
burst into
flames, which I didn't know. That's a thing.
I'm not a doctor, but it's cat scratch fever.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, cat scratch fever. I think it's only something that that these mutant demon vampire cat people
are susceptible to.
Half cat, half people are apparently susceptible to.
So she bursts into flames. Haha, cat lady.
So I guess at that point, we got Tanya sitting in the car, and Clovis hops up, and I guess Tanya lives happily ever after, I guess.
It's just you and me, Clovis. Just you and me.
I think it's happily ever after.
You think so?
Especially with Mr. Clovis. Mr. Clovis is a worthy companion.
I think this movie
he just rescued her.
Is a thrill ride from beginning to end.
It is so interesting.
There's not a dull moment. I disagree with you. I think even the slow parts are great.
Slow parts are great, but there definitely is like some very down, like normal, horror movie type parts. But otherwise, it's like up. It just goes. Nuts. It goes above and beyond.
We could not possibly have picked a better movie for this cat theme.
No, it was great. It was great.
If you have not seen Sleepwalkers,
Yeah,
you're missing out, guys.
Do it now. Best $3.99 I've spent in the last month.
$2.99
or $2.99
$2.99 on Amazon Prime. And I think we rented it twice because we had it for 48 hours the first time and then 48 hours the second time. And I watched it. I think I watched it at least 5 times. It is.
You were waking me up in the middle of it, like in the middle of the night. You're like, "Oh my god!"
And you actually watched the whole. Oh my god! I love this movie.
I did
by yourself.
By myself.
I was out the other night. Yeah. You watched it all the way through and took notes and everything. Mm-hmm. I was impressed.
I did because it was
Lacey
so
said you need to start watching the movies more.
Well, and
intently.
I understand that criticism, and I'm taking it very seriously and to heart. So I hope it shows in this episode that I really did watch with intention.
I like it. That was a fun movie.
That was so much fun.
I had a lot of fun with this one.
I had a lot of fun with you on this.
So I guess that's our episode this week.
What's in store for next week?
I'm not sure yet. Dang it. I need to start teasing the next one. I forgot to look. We forgot
to
decide
on your
one
outline
because we have. I know I need to, but I was so excited about this movie that I didn't even get to like a conclusion at all because I was throwing all this other stuff into the mix. But we need to decide because we have a big list now.
We do.
That
a master list.
Yeah, we're not going to go through every single one of them. Some of them are super weird that just They'd be
But those are
impossible.
almost better.
So
Sometimes.
some of them, are definitely ones
we will
could do.
hand pick from this list.
But I will let everybody know on social media before we get to the next episode. Maybe I'll let them know even sooner.
A little teaser.
Little teaser. You always get your sexual teaser voice on at the end.
A little teaser.
So why don't you tell our listeners what they should do?
All right, Feardos, stay afraid. Stay very afraid.